We are so grateful to the staff of the Eastern Henrico Rec Center for giving us this space and making it so comfortable. Can we give them a hand tonight? We're going to go ahead and get started at 6:34. Our first speaker tonight is our Senator, Senator Lamont Bagby. He is not only our senator, but he is also the new chair of the Democratic Party of Virginia. And so we're happy to have him tonight. Come on, Senator Bagby.
Man, that's what you call jumping right into it, isn't it? Good Lord, I thought I was going to have some time to sit there and talk to Destiny and catch up a little bit, ask about the baby and everything, but here we are. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. And Merry Christmas. And I also want you to know my birthday is this coming Sunday. Yeah. No, don't worry. Send something. But as you know, we just came through a pretty expensive campaign season. You saw all the mail and all the TV commercials and so forth. And as a Democrat, I'm pretty thrilled about where we landed. But you know the saying, Reverend Cooper, once you chase the truck and you catch the truck, what you gonna do with it when you get it? And so we have a number of things that we're focused on this session. Last session we had 3 constitutional amendments, and we will now vote on those constitutional amendments for the second time, and then it will be on your ballot next year. And there's a potential 4th constitutional amendment associated with what you are seeing across the nation related to congressional districts. And so that is something that we don't know if we're actually going to go through with it or not. But we're really looking to see what other states do, and if Virginia has to balance what other states are doing as it relates to these constitutional matters. So we'll have those 4 constitutional amendments to consider. And then we will have some of the things that we talked about on the campaign trail, largely focused on reducing your costs on energy, reducing the costs or making sure folks have affordable health care. We have some challenges because of what's going on in the federal government as they try to consider what to do or what not to do with the ACA or Obamacare and those subsidies. And we might have to backfill some of that. And as we had to consider backfilling some of that, that is going to present a challenge with some of our other priorities, such as education and roads and housing. I'm really thrilled with what Henrico has been able to do as it relates to affordable housing, but we need to make sure that we're doing our part on the state level to seed into the entire region to make sure that no locality, whether that be Richmond or Henrico, is carrying the load when it comes to affordable housing. And we want to make sure that we have not just increase the housing stock, but make sure that everyone is able to enter the market and live in a house that they can be proud of. At the same time, as a former Henrico County public teacher, public schools teacher, we want, thank you. Oh, one of my students. I was like, who clapped it? Who cares? But we want to make sure that we are doing our part to increase not only the support that we're giving to teachers on funding, but also the wraparound services that are critical. And I think we're going to be able to make some strides in that. But related to your energy costs, there's some things that we're going to be doing with energy storage and making sure that we have opportunities for some folks that may still be on oil tanks and have oil tanks and want to replace that with a different option. And so we want to make sure that we incentivize those things to help us reduce our carbon footprint. And so there's a host of things, and I know Destiny is next, and I want to leave some for her, and then come behind her to answer any questions that you all have. But there'll be a number of things that we're going to focus on, but our primary goal is to make sure folks can afford those things that they need. And the one way that we do that is making sure that folks are able to earn a satisfactory wage. And so raising the minimum wage is one of the things that we will do with this trifecta that we have. And there'll be a host of other things, but I don't want to not leave anything for my sister. So I'm going to wait until after she's done and then answer any questions.
We want to thank our Senator Lamont Bagby from the Senate District 14. We're also excited to have with us our delegate tonight, Delegate Destiny Bolling from 80th District. Come on, Ms. Bolling, give her a hand as she comes if you could.
Thank you. Got it. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me here. As mentioned, I'm Delegate Destiny LeVere Bolling, honored to represent House District 80, which we are sitting in currently. So tonight, I know some of you may have been at Reverend Cooper's last one, so we cut our presentation a little short. And so tonight will be about sharing what my office does, where we're headed in 2026, which my good Senator Bagby already touched on some of those things, and most importantly, hearing directly from you. So one of the most important parts of our job is constituent services, and so our office helps with unemployment and workforce support, education and school resources, healthcare and Medicaid navigation, housing and utility assistance, and resolving issues with state agencies like the DMV, as many of you have contacted me about. We also help with voter information, Capitol tours, letters of support, and listening to your legislative ideas if you should have any. And if you're stuck or unsure of where to turn and who to talk to, you should always feel free to contact my office. And there is a QR code there, the email is there, and I will be here with cards at the end should you want to get that information a little more closely. I do want to emphasize that my office is very accessible. You can call, email, and reach out anytime. Now, with a past event we had, I want to mention, is our Medicare and Medicaid changes that you've probably been hearing about just last week. I hosted a virtual webinar. It was a live stream on both Facebook and YouTube where we walk through all of those Medicare and Medicaid changes that will be coming and that may be coming into effect. And I had some panelists on there answering questions and workshopping things for folks who are going through the process of applying for those benefits, whether it was Part A through D, didn't matter. You could ask all of that. The recording is up for you to look at should you need it. It was all about transparency, education, and making sure you were informed about those changes because they impact your daily lives. Then moving to legislative priorities. The big topic is health workers and energy are kind of the three buckets here listed. So as we look towards 2026, this includes expanding access to remote patient monitoring for pregnant and postpartum individuals, modernizing palliative care, and strengthening newborn screenings for expectant mothers. We're also working to protect workers and consumers, strengthening workers' compensation, and ensuring frontline public servants are treated fairly. And we do have some legislation on energy where we're focused on lowering costs through energy efficiency, improving grid usage, and making sure large developments like data centers that I'm sure you all have heard about are accountable to the communities that we live in. The next buckets are education, equity, and governance. In education, we want to make it more accessible and affordable, especially for student parents, students with disabilities, and families facing rising tuition costs, as we see in every aspect of our lives these days. We'll also be tackling equity issues like bias in property appraisals and transparency across public systems. And then finally, we're committed to good governance. So we'll be using data, task force, and long-term planning so policies are effective and future-focused, ensuring that they are going to help you the most. And just want to plug in there, we talk about all this legislation and all the good things we'll be doing. January 14th is the first day of General Assembly session. We're really excited to get started. This is when all these priorities will turn into action, and your voices are going to help shape that work. And with that, I wanted to be quick. I want to leave it open to any questions for myself, comments or ideas for myself and Senator Bagby. Anyone have any questions? I know, you don't have to clap yet, it's okay. It's okay. I moved quickly because we want to keep on time.
Hey, Destiny.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. What more can you tell me about the energy storage options
Oh my
that
goodness.
are on the plate?
So I can tell, do you want to answer anything?
So,
on this?
and actually,
'Cause I
it
have
happens to
some.
be my bill.
Yes, that's why I was like, you want to answer?
So, but I will say this, that is something that we put in last go-around. The governor vetoed it. But the good news is, Governor-elect Spanberger had her press conference rolling out some of the things that we're going to be focused on this session, and it's in her agenda, so we don't have to be worried about it being vetoed, but we do want to make sure that we get it right, and so there may be some changes. Well, I know there's going to be some changes because I talked to the House patron as well, and I don't know what those changes look like right now, and so if you give me your email, I will send you the changes that are up for consideration because I'll get those tomorrow. But with the energy storage, that is going to happen. But what the final product looks like is going to be everybody at the table, all the stakeholders at the table, making sure we got it right.
Yeah.
Because, and I will say, the percentages that we had in the initial bill are going to be increased.
Yes.
Thank you, Senator Bagby.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Destiny.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Oh, we have a microphone for you. Yeah, certainly, go ahead.
What is the consideration for moderate income for seniors if they need senior care?
Moderate income. I believe the question was about moderate income for seniors. Do you mean in a? Yeah, can you please repeat the question? There you go,
Okay.
thank you.
The average older or elderly person that has to go into a nursing home if the places are unaffordable. What can be done?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead, and then I follow up. I got.
No, I'm gonna follow you up this time.
Okay. Well, one thing, especially if you get a chance, you should please take a look at that Medicaid and Medicare webinar that I did because we actually talked specifically about that affordability. And with some of the changes, there will be increased benefit for older folks who enroll in those programs to be able to cover more of those costs. That's also why some of the folks in the legislature will be carrying bills such as palliative care, increasing funding for our at-home care services, and that sort of thing. So I think we'll see some changes being made soon.
yeah, and one of the things that we worked actually with Henrico on this past year is building additional housing. The housing stock is what's become challenging, and I look at it more regionally, just as opposed to just Henrico. There are a number of particular senior facilities, but they're really buildings or units that are dedicated to seniors in different stages and with the different needs, and those have. I'm trying to find the best way to say it. They've outlived the building, and for one reason or another, maybe it needs to be renovated or replaced. But many of them are standing empty.
Yes.
And what we need to do is make sure that we give resources to housing authorities and localities on the state and federal level to help either replace or repair those spaces so that we can move individuals back into those housing. And that housing stock will then help with other levels or other parts of the market as well. And the same thing with subsidized housing for low income. The thought is that if we help seniors and low income, that will help ease the challenges that we're having on a more global level with affordability of housing. It's the best way and easiest way for the government to help with this housing crisis, along with what we've done to offer an opportunity, particularly for housing communities such as that I just mentioned, allowing them to forgive or not charge individuals for underground infrastructure like water and sewage. That lowers the cost of the overall project. And so whatever we can do, I believe, to increase the stock provide more housing for the 55 plus, I think is going to be critical. But I also think it's important for us to do it as a region. And I think you'll have many benefits. For example, Richmond is really rich in property that the Housing Authority already owns. Henrico has a dedicated fund to help with housing. I think if we couple all the things that these localities have, along with resources from the state and the federal government, and relaxing some of these regulations, I think we can increase our housing stock. I think what we need right now is somewhere in the middle, in the range of 10,000 units. And when you break that up across the region, is a bigger, is an easier elephant to bite.
I will also add on the nursing home piece as well, is I'm a proponent for aging in place if you can. And so the legislature will have a piece of legislation this session that's focused on collective bargaining for public employees. And in that piece of legislation, they're looking to make home health care workers also public workers so that they will be able to access more state funding for their positions, which will then mitigate the need to go into a nursing home. Maybe you can have someone come in your home and state funds will be able to cover their salaries to help assistance while folks age in place at home as opposed to going into the nursing home. So hopefully, we're tackling all the issues from all sides and hopefully we'll see some great results in the end. Good. Any other questions? Oh, we have one more, I think. Certainly.
Just comment on what you just said about healthcare workers. Is there anything in that for caregivers who are already taking care of people who are at home?
Go ahead. No. In that particular piece of legislation, no, it does not directly. I will have to read the language because we haven't gotten the draft back completely, so I'm not sure if caregiver, the word, is listed as it applies to the statute. But I believe someone may be carrying the caregiver tax credit, which will be helpful. Someone carried it prior to, and it's been vetoed and toyed around within the budget. And so I'm hoping that patron will bring that piece of legislation back so that caregivers will be able to get that tax credit and be, help, because a lot of caregivers give up their jobs and other things that they love in their life to be able to caregive. So hopefully a tax credit will be coming. Did you have anything? Go ahead.
This question is for both you guys. What other bills are you?
Wait. Go ahead.
How you guys doing?
Good.
What other bills are you guys sponsoring?
Well, all of my legislation was on my slides, and I have unfortunately, my chief of staff's looking at me like, girl, because I think I'm going to have over 22 bills this session, and it's a bit much, but I will be having a town hall where you all will get the information and be able to come and hear more in detail what those pieces of legislation will be. I don't know if you...
Yeah, so I'm probably going to have anywhere between 23 and 25 pieces of legislation. Everything from the storage legislation. And one of the things that I think it would be easy for folks, and I probably should have had a list to pass out to you, but I have about 7 bills that the governor vetoed. Governor Youngkin vetoed that I think Governor-elect Spanberger would sign. So I'll be putting those 7 in, and we have a bill limit of 20 bills plus some agency bills. And so if someone from agriculture sends one of us a bill, then that doesn't count to our number. So I'll probably have about 25 bills, everything from the energy bill to some stuff focused on education. I'll have a piece of legislation focused on solitary confinement, trying to make sure that everyone, even folks that are incarcerated, have an opportunity to get fresh air and some companionship. And so it's going to be some things that people care about and some things that people won't even think about. Like I have a piece of legislation focused on gift cards. because what folks are experiencing now is, especially at Christmas time, you go buy a gift card and you get it home and there's nothing on it.
Yep.
And so that's a misdemeanor. But when you do, and when there's a system of stealing money off gift cards, that goes up. And so, you know, when we talk about affordability and folks having challenge putting food on the table and a roof over your head, those things are critical as it relates to you trying to go buy 4 or 5 gift cards, and that's $100, $125 that you get home and there's nothing there. And so some things that are larger, like raising the minimum wage, and then there's some things that folks won't even think about. And also, not to mention, is a critical year for the budget and making sure that, one, we take care of our school systems, we take care of education and Medicaid, whatever supplement we have to put in there, and then making sure that we freeze college tuitions. That's something that we're going to be really focused on, and along with making sure that we push back on some of the things that are coming from DC that are attacks on our education system and our healthcare system.
Thank you both. Can we just give them both another hand, a round of applause? Thank you all. So we have 2 great guests coming up next. First, from our fire department, Deputy Chief Jim Courtney. And after Deputy Chief Courtney, we're going to have Captain Dave Turner. Come on, welcome them as they come.
Go first. All right, good evening, everybody. Like Reverend Cooper said, my name is Jim Courtney. I'm a Deputy Chief with Henrico County Division of Fire. Just here tonight to talk about a couple things to you as it pertains to just safety during the holiday season. Before I kick it off, though, I really do want to say, I think it's important to mention, you know, I've been doing this a long time, about 35 years. I spend a lot of time countrywide, statewide, seeing other fire departments. The level of dedication that Reverend Cooper and the Board of Supervisors provides us as a public safety agency is absolutely incredible to provide world-class service to all of you with fire and EMS and our police partners, and they'll talk a little bit about that too, but I really want to say that because a lot of times people don't understand really how good we have it as in the community from a fire and EMS perspective, and also as an employee of the county, what we can provide from our training and our equipment and our personnel and so on and so forth. So that's really important. I know all of y'all are used to the, I'm going to ad-lib this. I believe police has a PowerPoint. Can I use the birthday thing? Where did he go? Where did he go? My birthday's in June. Send that to. And Destiny was really fast, so I'm going to try to be really fast. June 15th. And I'll send you all my address. I know, but I'm just saying. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So just a little holiday from a prevention side. I do want to mention that around this time of year, we do see an influx in fires in the county. We do see an influx of injuries, serious injuries and fatalities as a result of that. We have, unfortunately, in the last 2 to 3 weeks, had a couple of fatal fires and a couple of severe injuries that typically result from a variety of reasons. One is people just trying to stay warm this time of year, but a lot of times that has been associated with just a lack of functioning smoke detector in your house. That is the single most important thing you can put in your house. If you can't afford one, if you don't have one, if you can't install it, the fire department will bring you one. We will put it in for you. So please reach out to us if you need a working smoke detector in your house. It's critical. Second thing that has caused recently a couple of our significant issues have been extension cords. Please be careful when you're giving gifts over the course of the holidays and you're plugging in gaming TVs and gaming things and space heaters and things. Please do not use extension cords. Plug them directly into the wall. that is the absolute safest way to do it. Extension cords, even if sometimes they look significant, are not, and they will cause a significant problem for you. You guys all are probably familiar with the idea about just being smart about candles and Christmas trees and Christmas tree lights, especially if you have a live tree, so those types of things. But the biggest two are working smoke detectors and extension cords, and I can't emphasize that enough. I actually spoke with the fire marshal's office today just to verify that in the last numerous fatal and significant injury fires, that's been the cause. From an operational perspective, just want to make sure that everybody's aware we've changed some of our ambulance fleet this year. We've moved to four-wheel drive ambulances so we can get to you easier in the snow. We've historically had trouble in the snow getting big two-wheel drive ambulances to you getting stuck. So we've done some changes to our fleet to help get us to you in inclement weather. And again, we just continue to have the best stations, equipment, so on and so forth, as a direct result of the support of our board. Lastly, I want to mention, because we talked about nursing homes, we talked about advocates in the community. The fire department has a program called our CARE program, or our CARE team. It's a community outreach program. We focus on, we have direct contact with Advocate for the Aging. We focus on peer support, addiction issues. We focus on people that have a mental health nexus. We focus on folks that typically do not need 911 or a hospital transport as a primary need. They need their medicines, they need their whatever they need. They need help with their heating, they need help with their house, they don't have running water, but their only option is to call 911. We have a very robust care program within the fire department, and I would say that if you know someone that is suffering from these types of issues where 911 might not be the answer, please feel free to call out to us. We have a very robust case management program for those types of folks, and we will get a field team out there to address their needs and address and help. It also helps us from a call volume perspective. We're slated to run, we'll probably run a little over 70,000 calls for service this year, so we're a very busy department, and that helps kind of keep those numbers down. But please we do more than fire and EMS. That community outreach program is really great. I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that it exists, and please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you know someone that we can help in that capacity. That's my quick rundown, but happy to answer any questions from the fire and EMS side of things. Yes, sir.
That number that you had for the care team?
Yes, sir. So the direct number to fire administration is 501-4900. If you have trouble getting in touch with them, you can go through the communications center, the 501-5000, which is the non-emergency number, or if you can't get someone there, call 911, and they'll get you in touch with the right people.
And
so,
how many case managers on this care team?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
How many case managers on the care team?
So we have two. We have a case manager that looks strictly at peer addiction, and then we have a case manager that handles all the rest of our workload for those patients. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry?
Repeat the number again.
501-4900 or 501-5000. Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Captain Dave Turner. I'm the commanding officer of our Central Patrol Precinct, our Central Station, which is located off of Villa Park Drive. The area we encompass includes this area right here up to Creighton Road. With me, I have Officer Boatwright, one of our community officers. Didn't want to do this alone, so I brought him with me.
Muscle, baby.
So we have a PowerPoint. It's 22 slides long. However, when I was looking through it, I realized it wasn't going to be respectful of Reverend Cooper's time. So there's some things that I didn't include on it. When I got thinking about it, there's some other things I really want to talk about that impact all of us this time of year. So I'm kind of go down the list of what's been really important to us and kind of things that I want to make you aware of and things that hopefully will increase everyone's safety during the holiday season. First of all are the larcenies from cars. We get cars broken into a lot during the wintertime. A lot of times it's unlocked vehicles, it's things being left out that are easily seen by people walking down the street, wallets, packages, unfortunately Christmas gifts, purses. So we ask that just make sure if you park anywhere, whether it be a shopping center, at home, anywhere that you go, hide your valuables and make sure your door is locked. Sometimes as simple as locking your door and confirming it's locked can make a huge difference. The next thing that we really, really want to knock our numbers down on are folks walking, pedestrians being hit by cars. We started a program a couple of years ago, the Woe Vest. We've got several of them over here on the table. Please take one. If you need one, we have them at the fire stations. We have them at the police stations. Come by and see me. I will give you as many as you want. It gets really dark now. I mean, 9 o'clock at night feels like 12 o'clock at night. 5 o'clock, I'm already getting tired and the sun's already down. So if you go for a walk, please wear bright colors, wear a Woe Vest, don't dress in dark clothing, and just be really cognizant of people driving. We all know everyone's distracted when they're driving now. They're playing on their phones, they're looking at their GPS, what have you. It's really tragic, and I've worked a lot of them, when someone gets hit walking down the street and, whether they're seriously injured or killed, it's really sad, and it's completely avoidable. So our Woe Vest, we've got them. Please consider taking one. Amazon, I'm sure my wife, every day I come home, I never know what's going to be on the front porch. Last week, we had a package that we had a picture of, and the package was gone. Somebody stole it off our front porch. So just be aware. It's helpful if you can kind of track your packages when they get home. The Ring cameras are really good. They're really good deterrents. She'll never see that pair of shoes again, so I guess I'm buying her another pair of shoes. But that goes up during the holiday season. Online shopping. It's very difficult. Double check anytime you transfer money, anytime you do anything. Confirm that the address is correct. A lot of times you'll have like a little lock in the corner of the search bar. Make sure that's got a lock on there. That's one step in the right direction to make sure you don't get scammed online. Who gets phone calls from people offering them insurance and everybody? Everybody, yeah. Be careful about online scams. Especially if they say they're with the government, the police department, whatever. They're not going to call you and tell you, you have an unpaid parking ticket and the sheriff's police will come and lock you up if you don't send them gift cards. If it sounds incorrect, call us. We have people stop by the station all the time and say, hey, I got this phone call, does it sound right? It rarely ever is. So just be real cognizant, no matter how believable they sound, when they call you. If your hairs on the back of your neck go up, just give us a call. We'll be more than happy to advise you on whether it's a scam or it's not a scam, but most likely, unfortunately, it's probably a scam.
Phone numbers.
I'm sorry?
One thing I would say is you guys should check phone numbers. If if your bills call and say, hey, you're missing a payment, and you made the payment, and you check the number, just make sure you check each individual digit. I had one of those emails, and the number was off by one number. It was the same number to my electricity bill, but it was off by a number. So just make sure you're extra vigilant before you send money to anybody.
Yeah, we definitely, and a lot of times when these scams happen, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to track down who did it. And most of the time, it's nearly impossible to recover your money, especially if it's overseas. It's routed through all types of technology, which I don't claim to understand. I'm 50 years old. I still write everything down. But a lot of it's very convoluted, the white-collar stuff. So just if it sounds too good to be true, if it just doesn't make sense, push pause. No one's coming to your house if the bill's not paid on time. Just get with us if it doesn't sound right. Crime stats, I wanted to cover that real quick. Our crime stats are really, really down. All of our Part 1 crimes, the serious stuff, has really come down in the last year. Knock on wood, we can keep it that way. But our officers are very, very vigilant and diligent about trying to be out there in the community, being visible, responding to anything that anyone calls in that may be suspicious or not. And I've been really proud of the work they've done and the community interaction, especially with our oh, I got them right here. Oh, yeah, I came prepared. And if anybody's curious about the actual numbers, I can give them to you. But we've really made huge dividends on interacting with our communities and hopefully reducing some of the crime that is going on. One of the questions I was asked that I could address, if I wouldn't mind addressing, were vape shops. I can't say a lot about what we're specifically in the police department doing about vape shops, but I can tell you we're very diligent in our enforcement and investigations to vape shops and making sure they're within code and within policy. And we are definitely staying on top of that. and hopefully that we will have our vape shops in the county in line and in compliance sooner than later. Do you guys have anything? I feel like I fired through that, so if you have questions. Does anyone have any questions about anything I covered?
Not about what you covered, but
Before you
maybe
speak, hold on 1 second, let the mic come to you, and you watch it up.
I can hear you. I don't know if everyone else can.
I mean,
Oh, can I check?
so you said that the crime is down, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I probably don't think that because there's always something going on in my neighborhood. I've called about 2 or 3 times within the last, 2-3 weeks maybe, regarding something in my neighborhood.
Okay.
Of course, I've asked for my people, but sometimes, people can't come right away. But, I don't know, I just don't know if crime is, you got the stats.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, but I beg to differ.
Well, tell you what. Let me give you my card.
Okay.
My number's on here. You call me, give me a call tomorrow. Give me a call tomorrow, and we'll discuss it. And I'll see what I can do to help you out.
The question that I don't even like.
The question that I have is the parking lot over there in Food Line on Mechanicsville.
Okay.
What are you guys going to do about that? I'm tired of people trying to climb over that fence into my backyard.
Oh, no.
Cutting through my backyard to climb over there. And the rehab facility, the drug rehab facility, I'm tired of the drug stuff going through there. I got hoarders that's already in the field, that's living out there. And every time I look out that my window, my back window, it's nothing but cars parked, but it says no parking.
Okay. And that's on your street?
That's on Mechanics.
On Mechanics,
I live
okay.
on the hill, door line, but I can see Food Line from there.
Okay.
And that's what I see every day, Monday through Sunday. The parking lot is so full that Food Line stays full all the time. But when you in that parking lot, half of the people don't even park in parking spaces.
Oh, okay, so they're right on the road.
Up and down. And Monday through Friday, the rehab facility opens up at 5:30 in the morning. And I hear that every morning between 3 and 4 o'clock is a charger or something going through that parking lot, speeding and speeding every day. Every day. Don't miss a day. I can wake up from that vehicle. After the stores close, I peep out my windows. You have cars speeding in the parking lot, back and forth in the parking lot. I know that you have that camera out there, but I just feel like it needs to be a little bit more police officers traveling through there to get some of the traffic from the Food Line parking lot. Especially if I'm climbing over the fence because I have to get the owners to put up a new fence.
Wow, okay. Well, tell you what, why don't I give you a card before I leave today? Give me a call and I'll get more specific information from you and we'll see what we can do to help you out. Anyone else? Well, thank you for your time. We'll be here for a little while. If anybody has anything else, just get with us. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, Captain Turner and Deputy Chief Courtney. All right, next we have with us from Parks and Rec, Mr. Julian Cherry and Mr. Jeff Boner. Come on, Sanders.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
How's everybody doing tonight? All right. So, start off. First and foremost, can everybody hear me? No problem. First and foremost, how many of you have been to Three Lakes since it has reopened? Ooh, all right. All right, and you're going to get a prize. 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 So we reopened the Three Lakes Nature Center back in September. And the reopening ceremony was 10 o'clock in the morning. It was during school day, and everybody's like, okay, who in the world is coming to this? We had close to 600, 700 people come during that day. So we had all kinds of opening activities that day, that whole weekend. And if you still haven't been, the Nature Center is actually still open. I know in the past it used to close for the winter and all those sort of things, but it is still open Friday through Sunday. I'm jumping ahead. We do have a phase 2 that is coming also. So phase 1 reopened back in September, but we do have a phase 2. This is just the name of a few of the exhibits that are going to be as a part of phase 2. And with that is also coming a new restroom building. Now the new restroom building is not part of phase 2, it's actually going to be completed before that. So this will be open by the spring. I don't know if we're going to do a ribbon cutting on that. We may do a ceremonial flush. I don't know. We'll see what we do with that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Well, restroom's always fun. So and at Three Lakes, these are some of the programs that are upcoming within the next few months, actually during the wintertime. And you'll see there Friday through Sunday, 10 to 3 is when the Nature Center is open. So you can go in. There's no charge to go in. The animal keepers are there. Sometimes they bring a few of the animals out so you can interact with them, interface with them. The children absolutely love it. And I'm going to go back a few slides. There's actually one element there you see in the lower left-hand corner. That's our sand table. As you interface with the sand, there's a projector above it that changes the topography of the sand as you're working with it. So if you mound it up, it becomes a volcano. You'll see dinosaurs kind of roaming over it. If you make a trench, it'll become a ravine or a river. So children, well, I say children, but the adults have actually been doing more with it than the kids. And it gives you all these ideas about the geological history of Virginia and the ecology of Virginia and how we impact that as a race. All right, so Jeff.
All right.
Oh, we're gonna go back to that.
The timing.
The timing.
The timing. Yep, there's the winter hours for Three Lakes. Before I start talking about programs, who came last week and saw Santa pull into the parking lot here at Eastern? All right. Once again, we got goodies. We're giving stuff out. Excellent. If you have not come on the ending of the Holiday Express Tour, you need to come one year. It is so much fun. Having everyone here, greeting Santa as we come rolling in, it is a blast. So.
You didn't see Santa, you're on the naughty list.
That's right. That's right.
Just saying.
So upcoming programs for winter. We're kind of coming out of all of our holiday programming, but these are all fun activities we have going on in the Fairfield district coming up. Cupcake decorating classes, Play-Doh programs. We're doing archery here in February for Valentine's Day. Crocheting classes. On the right side, these are all of our history programs that we have coming up. We're going to be going quick, but the cool thing is we have flyers for everything at the back table, and we'll also talk about how you can find all this stuff as well. Oh, you got it. Fitness classes. Who is a member of the fitness center here at Eastern Henrico Rec Center? Ooh. Yes! I'm gonna make Santa run. He's gonna be moving a lot. I'll keep talking while he's running around though. So, fitness center here at Eastern Henrico. We also have all the fitness classes. These are just some examples of the classes that are available for you all to take. I don't remember if Julian mentioned it earlier, but all of our classes and programs, everything we do is free. Probably one of the only rec departments in the entire nation that offers all of the programs and activities that we do free of cost. So you'll be able to have the QR code later for the app to get information on all of these fitness classes. You stole the clicker. Here we go.
That time.
Community programs. More fun stuff coming up here. We'll have more stuff at the end, too, to give out. Don't worry. We got plenty of goodies. In February, we have our Valentine's Boogie with Your VIP. So kids, parent, aunt, uncle, grandparent, whoever wants to come out and have a good time. And then we're doing our first virtual football showdown on a day when kids are out of school. We'll be doing a football video game tournament. That'll be going on here at Eastern as well. Legendary Dance Night. Miss Sheila that works here at Eastern does this every year. It is an awesome time. Come on out, dance, have a great time with your friends and family. And then this year we're also doing a job fair in February here at the Eastern Henrico Rec Center as well.
And before I go to this next slide, I know it's the week before Christmas, but just to give you a little teaser, Black History Month, the month of February, these are just a small sampling of a few of the things that we're going to be doing for Black History Month. Whew, gotta catch my breath. Oh. But we actually have the flyer in the back because it is like 2.5 pages of activities. Everything from lectures to programs teaching you how to make healthy soul food. Whole lot of fun stuff, and all free. And this is one of my babies here. We're having another traveling exhibit coming to Eastern. I am the Assistant Director of Recreation. One of my focuses for the past several years has always been history. So we've been bringing a lot of historical things in and out and traveling around so that people can interface with history wherever they are. So one of the things we've done, we partnered with the Virginia Museum of History and Culture to bring their travel and exhibits to our rec centers. So they'll be there for about a week and a half, then we move them to another one, we move them to another one. So they travel all around the county over a 6-week span. So this is the next one that's coming. It's entitled Determined, the 400-Year Struggle for Black Equality. And it takes you from the early date, the 1619, the landing of Africans at Old Point Comfort, all the way through, you'll see some recognizable figures, but all the way to the present day. Who is doing that work now and moving forward? Who is that next generation?
The last thing we're going to mention is something we've been rolling out over the past few months. That's our new feedback form. So you'll see in signs pop up around parks. It's already live on our website and stuff like that. But say you're out in a park and you see something that needs to get repaired. You see a playground that has a broken slide. If you'll be able to scan that QR code and send feedback, and it comes straight to our department to evaluate and check out. If you're sitting here at Eastern, right, and you think Jeff and Julian did a fantastic job with our presentation, you can send feedback to our bosses and let them know how great we were, right? So we don't want to hear just about things that are broken or need repair, but also all the good things that you all enjoy and like as well. So remember, let everyone know how good Julie and I did. Thank you. Last thing, all the programs that we talked about, you can find them on all of these things. Our app is awesome. We can help you download it before you leave this evening if you need it. You can scan the QR code, but all the information for all of our stuff is on the app.
Okay, wait a minute. Do I need the mic? So when we see things, because I walk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when we see things on the premises, which I've done a couple of times, that's broken or maybe dangerous, we can.
So if you're here at Eastern, you're more than welcome. Come inside, let the staff know. If you're ever out here at a time when the building's not open for some reason, you can scan the QR code as well, and it'll get filtered through our department to get taken care of.
And I did that once about that little thing out front where the water is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it didn't get addressed until the guy came at one of these meetings, and I, talked to him again about it. So, and then it happened. But I did, so it needs to be
Gotcha.
secure for children.
Yes, absolutely, for sure. So yes, this will just be another resource to use as well. And you'll also be able to attach pictures through, if you fill out the form, you can take a picture and email that. It gives you the email address to do all that stuff. But definitely keep bringing stuff.
I think sometimes people don't see what's dangerous to me as a citizen, social worker, whatever. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes when you bring it to somebody's attention, they may not see it as important, but to me it is. Anything that harms the life is important.
Absolutely.
And I will tell you from experience, we've gotten everything from I purchased a soda in the soda machine and it was outdated, to a tree has fallen that I think it was sent in like 5 o'clock in the morning. A tree has fallen over a fence. Please fix this. And we can address those things right away, because the first thing, we have a person assigned, as soon as they come in the morning, they look at every single one of these and filter it out to whoever it needs to go to, whether it's our trades team, whether it's our marketing team, or whether it is up to the director himself.
Okay.
We'll talk at the end.
Yes, sir.
I saw that you had new restroom facilities at Three Lakes. Mm-hmm. Is there anything in the works with Dory Park? There is a restroom facility up where the children's playground is, but there's nothing down at the back of the lake. At one point in time, they had porta johns and they took them away. Possibly 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
Now there is one that is slated. It was in is actually for the front by the splash pad that is slated, that is already funded and out to bid and all that. But coming back towards the back, I don't think so, but I can double check for you. I'll get right with you, and I'll give you my contact so you can hold me accountable, please. Yes.
My question is, do you all handle the playgrounds at the schools?
No, we do not. Those are part of the. Oh, repeat the question. I can repeat it. The question is, are we responsible for the playgrounds at the schools? We are not. Those are part of the school facilities.
Okay.
Thank you.
And for those of you that didn't get something, see us before the end. We'll have something for you.
We call them the two J's, Julian and Jeff. Come on, give them a hand, the two J's. And I want y'all to know I'm going to use the QR code and say good things about y'all after the meeting. Next, we have Ms. Shay Ramsey. She is the actual assistant manager of the Fairfield Library across the street. Come on, welcome Ms. Ramsey as she comes.
Hello, everyone. I see some familiar faces in here. My name is Shay Ramsey. As Reverend Cooper stated, I am the assistant manager of the beautiful Fairfield Library across the street. And I have slides. There's a lot of information on there. If I breeze through it a little bit, feel free to take pictures of it. And I also have a box of program guides that has all the information in it as well. But I do want to keep things going in the essence of time. So the first thing that we have coming up, we have so many winter programs coming up this season at the Henrico County Public Library. The first thing is our Cozy Reading Challenge. We normally do a summer reading challenge, but this is to help jumpstart those New Year's resolutions to read more books in the new year. It is through January 5th through February 16th. It's for all ages, so you don't have to be a child to do it. You can be any age. And all we're asking is that you log your reading for 20 days throughout that time period to win a small prize. You can read 5 minutes, you can read 5 hours. It's really up to you. There's no pressure. It's very low stakes. And we have an online platform, Beanstack, that we use for summer reading, that we will be able to track your reading on there, and you also can come in and get a paper log as well. We also have our Community Authors Expo that will be at the Fairfield Library on January 24th. That's when we have every month a community author showcase where a local author gets to present their newly published work. It's at all the libraries. Ours is every third Monday. So we're going to have all of our authors who've already presented to come in and be able to show off what they've already published and what's coming up. We have for young audience authors, so children's book authors will be presenting at 10 a.m. and just general adult writers will be presenting at 2 p.m. We also have book discussion groups. We have several at Fairfield, but they're all throughout the county. So we have for 20 years, we've actually had this Black Authors Book Club, and we will be doing our All Henrico Reads selection on January 20th. It is the Walter Mosley book, Gray Dawn. It is the 17th installment of the Easy Rollins series. So if you've ever heard or read Devil in a Blue Dress, this is the latest book in that series. We will get more into All Henrico Reads later, but if anyone wants to pick up that book, we do have copies available at the Adult Reference Desk. And we also have our February selection as well, which is A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. We also have Book Bites. That is a new book club that we started where we feature if we have a book that might feature some food items that the librarian will have a little taste for you, and you guys can discuss the books as well. That is at 2 p.m. It's our first daytime book club because sometimes people just don't want to come out at night. So that one will be on January 8th and February 5th. We also have our Next Chapter book club, and that is for developmentally disabled individuals to come and practice their reading together as a group in the library. And our current selection for that one is Dr. Doolittle. We also have a Read Out Loud book club, which is just anyone can come and practice reading in a group, and it'll be led by some 2 instructors, and it's just for people who want to, sharpen up on their reading. And we have those dates up there, and they'll be at 1 o'clock on Tuesdays. It's an 8-week program, so after the 8 weeks, we'll take a break, and then we'll start up the next session. We also will be having a Henrico EDA business education series. We have them at Fairfield Library, and we do have Henrico EDA also presents their programs at other libraries as well. But we will be having a business canvas modeling program on Thursday, January 8th, and we'll be having a Defining Your Business Value Proposition program on Thursday, February 12th. And then the last 2 things in that series are the goal setting workshop and pop-up mentoring. So PUMP, we actually have we have it throughout the year, and we have it at Fairfield and Libby Mill. And we have the first 2 dates of the year on January 14th and February 11th at Fairfield, and January 28th and February 25th at Libby Mill. Am I talking too fast?
Do they have to sign up for PUMP?
No, you don't have to sign up for any of these. You can just show up. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Oh, yes. Please let me know if I'm talking too fast. I sometimes get carried away. You're very welcome. And then we at Tuckahoe Library, we'll be having a Building a Better Budget program, and at Sandston, we'll be having a Protect Against Identity Theft and Fraud program. Those will be both on January 5th and January 8th. And we talked about, I heard Medicaid earlier. We will be having a program at, you can't really see it, it's at Twin Hickory Library on January 21st at 2 p.m. And it will be discussing more information, general information about the changes to Medicare. And we also will be having a Wills 101 program at Tuckahoe Library on February 7th at 11 a.m. Yes, we will be having a Black History Month festival at Twin Hickory Library. They're going to be showing 4 films that will celebrate Black culture, and we will also have at Fairfield Library a Black History Month celebration on Valentine's Day, February 14th, and we will be having Bright Star Theater will come out and perform Black History Hall of Fame. We will be having Black History Bingo, and we'll be having From Invisibility to Political Activism, the Black Experience in American Art. This is our 2nd year having a Black History Month celebration at Fairfield. It was wonderful last year, so I really, really encourage everybody to come out to that one this year. We also will be having a lot of lectures and other historical speaking programs throughout the system. Verina's going to have the Valentine Museum presenting A Soul of a Community, and Libby Mill Library is going to be having From the Motherland, Legends and Tales of Africa. That's also on February 14th. If you can't make it to Fairfield celebration, you can go there. So you have options. Twin Hickory is going to be having a rediscovery or discovery of the forgotten story of Richmond 34, and Twin Hickory is going to be having the Underground Railroad to Mexico. It's a program that talks about that line. It'll be presented by a professor from VCU. We also have programs for kids. We have Bright Star Theater, so they're going to be doing that Black History Hall of Fame at multiple locations if you missed the one on February 14th. We also will be having an engineer challenge. I believe, if I can catch up to my slides, that one will be at Twin Hickory Library. So they do a lot of STEM activities with the kids. They'll be making paper tables, they'll be making bridges out of cardboard, and it's just to get those skills going. We also have Elementary Art Club. That is a regular staple at Fairfield Library. They'll be doing Kandinsky collages and also something for Chinese New Year. We have Pup Readers. That is a program where they will bring in a therapy dog, and children who want to read to a furry friend can come and practice their reading with a dog. That is going to be on January 3rd at Verina, January 15th at Glen Allen, and January 13th at Fairfield. And of course, we have Story Time. Story Time is one of our biggest programs. We have it every day except Friday. Libby Mill and Fairfield are open on Sundays, so we have it 6 days a week. Some days we have it multiple times a day, and they are for all ages. We have it from just for babies to all the way to just families. So if you have children of multiple ages and you want everybody to come and enjoy Story Time, feel free to bring them in. Ooh, jumped ahead there. So for teens, we have a lot of community service programs for them around this time. They're looking to collect those hours. So we have a Transcribe-a-thon, which is a collaboration between us and the Library of Virginia, where they get to transcribe historical documents, and they will get volunteer hours for those. We also will have a volunteer fair, and that is going to be February 3rd at Tuckahoe Library, February 10th at Fairfield. And we also have community service drop-in where they can come in and do a project or activity and gain community service hours. And that is going to be January 27th at Libby Mill, and January 28th at Fairfield. And all Henrico reads. So that is our program that we do every single year, where the community of Henrico reads the same book. This year, our book, like I said earlier, was Gray Dawn by Walter Mosley. He will be coming to speak about his book at the Henrico Sports and Events Center on Thursday, March 26th. And that one, because he's Walter Mosley and he has such a vast line of books and works, he will be talking about more than just this book. He's probably going to be talking about the series in general. But he's so excited, and we are also very excited to have him. That is a free event. All of our events are free. You just bring yourself. They're going to have some giveaways, and and you can also get a book signed by him at the end of the event. There's no tickets, there's no registration. You're free to come and attend. And I don't have it on my slides, but Fairfield and North Park, I can say for certain, will be having tax assistance. Every year, we offer tax assistance through the VITA program, and we don't have any solid dates yet because those are still being worked out, but definitely check back in with us at the beginning of the year. Throughout January, we should have something more solid to give you, in addition to tax forms that we're going to get shipped to us from the IRS, but we also can print on demand if you need a specific form. And those are all services that are free. Our tax program is just by availability, and you would have to book an appointment for it, but once we get that information, we will disperse to everyone.
So the books aren't here, because I was trying to say they're not here.
Not yet. We are waiting on them. Yes. And as soon as we get our tax books, we will give them out to you guys. And as always, to stay up to date on what we're doing, please go to henricolibrary.org, or you can always call us. You'll probably get me if you call Fairfield, and we'll be willing to give you all the information if you missed anything from my presentation. Are there any questions? I'm lucky, yay. I went after the guys with all the fun stuff, so. But thank you.
Well, we definitely want to thank Ms. Ramsey. She did a wonderful job. Can we give her one more hand clap for Ms. Ramsey? Real quick, he wasn't scheduled to be here because he had school board meeting, but he came right over. Our school board representative, Ryan Young, is here. We want him to come just greet us. Amen. Come on, Ryan.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Reverend Cooper, for putting me on the spot. I wasn't scheduled to be here tonight. We just finished school board meeting. I will give you an update on the school board meeting. Tonight was a really big vote on redistricting. So the redistricting proposal did move forward tonight. It was passed on a 4-to-1 vote. So we're in the process of redistricting some schools. For those that don't know, if you want to know how it impacts Fairfield, we have a move that's students are moving from Tucker into Hermitage. And we have kids moving from Hermitage into Henrico. The communities that's in the Fairfield district that's affected will be the Chamberlain Farms community will be coming to Henrico starting next year. If students are already in high school, they get to remain there. So there's not a situation where a student has to, if they're at Hermitage, they have to come and leave and come to Henrico. They do have the ability to stay there and complete their 4 years or 3 years that they have left. The 8th graders moving into 9th grade will be moving into Henrico High School, as well as Tucker and Hermitage. And we had a slight movement between Freeman and Godwin as well. So it's about balancing enrollment. Henrico is the most under-enrolled school in the county, 62% at capacity. So with this move, we bring it up to 80%. On this side of town, we do have an adjustment with Central Gardens. The Central Gardens community will also be moving into Henrico High School following this school year. The big thing with Central Gardens is that if you're riding up right here when you leave, everything on this side of the road goes to Henrico except for Central Gardens. It was about community cohesion when we were looking at ways to alleviate some of the capacity issues at Highland Springs and the future capacity issues they will have, because they are building and Marana is growing and Highland Springs area is growing. So Central Gardens is literally the only community that didn't go to Henrico that's on this side. Also, the new community fairways. It's important to have new communities come into Henrico as well, because we know that the Fairfield district is kind of squeezed when we talk about around Henrico and right in this area, that you don't see too many homes being developed now. So it's good to have single-family homes coming into Henrico High School and just coming into the community, period. But it's important that Henrico is balanced, so you still have that culture. Y'all don't realize that Henrico was more IB students and Center for the Arts kids than it was kids from the community. Right? We want our schools to be reflective of our community and where we live, and want them to enjoy those things. And when they go to grocery stores and to the park and different things, they see their classmates, right? So, you know, we just want that cohesion. And also, we bring in cybersecurity to Henrico. And that's a huge step. We got the first new specialty center in probably 6 or 7 years. And it's coming right to Henrico High School. It's cybersecurity. Kids will leave Henrico High School that are in that program. They will be able to leave and make $85,000+ a year. They will be able to go to school, they will be able to go to college and be 2 classes away from having an associate's. Like, this is huge to have in our backyard in the east end of Henrico. Like, these are opportunities. Now, the biggest hurdle we got to do is we got to get our kids in there. We got to make sure they apply. We got to make sure they know about it. I keep telling people it's all about the knowledge. Henrico County Public Schools has everything you need. CTE, school, high level, Army, ROTC, it's about letting people know what's out there for them. Because by the time they get to Henrico and they say, oh, we got cybersecurity, it's too late. They needed to know that in 6th grade, and 7th grade, and 8th grade, so they're taking Algebra 1. So they're getting that out the way so they can apply. And once you apply, we can work on the system to make sure that kids are getting in the right way. But that was a huge vote tonight. I'm glad it passed. It was a year-long process. I'm excited about what we're doing. We're not finished. Henrico County continues to grow. It's a lot of development. We're not finished with capacity issues, but I am proud that we were able to get that accomplished. I'm happy that cybersecurity is coming into Henrico High School. Congratulations to Highland Springs, runner-ups and state champs. Congratulations to Warana High School, state champs. A lot of great things are going on in Eastern Henrico, and we want Henrico to be a part of that as well, right? But if you need me, I'll be here. If you got any questions, I'll take some questions if you have any. Yeah, Miss Dale, yes ma'am. How are you? I ain't seen you in a while, Dale. How are you? I know your daughter ain't cheering this year. I got to talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you.
And I am glad you're here tonight, because the question was, Lakeside Elementary School.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm a mentor there at the school. And I am in one of the programs that we do monthly. The counselor, the president of the PTA, the vice president of the PTA, they have some concerns on their crossing at the school. I have some concerns with that as well. I did send that information to the Director of Public Utilities, but the questions that they're having is parking, no stop signs. What they're looking for is signs that people are parking on the side of the school, and it's difficult when we have to bring our kids there to school to drop them off. You have cars coming and the bus coming at the same time and cars are not getting over. So their main concern is accidents, because they have no signs at all, and they want someone to really get with them so they can show them exactly where the signs and the locations are supposed to be. This was discussed in August of 2024, and they haven't heard anything from nobody.
Okay, all right. I'll definitely address that. And we just looking for no parking signs right in front of the school.
We're actually looking for, when I drop my granddaughter off, when we leave from dropping them off, they have like the bus ramp.
Yep.
And when we go out the bus ramp, we have buses parked right there that we cannot even see when we go out.
So even cross.
Because the traffic officer used to be there. And then you have kids coming to school, walking to school.
Yep.
And then when you're going down that road on the side where the bus has to come, you have cars coming up versus cars going down, and then you have cars parked on both sides of the street, so it's difficult when they're trying in a hurry to get the kids to school. So they have no type of safety there, no stop signs, no parking signs. One of the parking signs they want is to have a sign that says no parking there during school hours.
Right, okay. We can work on that. Yeah, and I know we lost our crossing guard over there just due to the number of walkers kind of decreased over time. So we're still working to get crossing guards back into some of the schools that have a more walkable community. So we are working on that.
You have some of these parents,
yeah.
When they're leaving out and they're in a hurry to get to school, they're not stopping. You know, the guy, he does put the stop sign up for them to walk.
Right, okay.
When you get a little further towards the end, that's when these parents, they just go this way, go there, but they don't even stop.
Gotcha.
So it's very,
Yeah.
nothing has happened, thank God, but we just want to address.
Be proactive. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm not sure who was next.
Hi.
Hey, good afternoon.
And just speaking about schools, because I've been reading all the updates about infrastructure and getting that straight. And we talk about this district because I know that the heating system was not working at my neighborhood school, and I noticed that Lakeside closed early because of their heating system.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm hoping that we are really staying on top of this.
So we just requested $15 million from our Board of Supervisors. So that's a great question. I'm glad he said it to listen to it, because I'm hoping that he approves that $15 million so we can work on the infrastructure of our HVAC units in Henrico County. I know Lakeside had a boiler issue. I know Harvey's had some issues as well. Glenlee has some issues. So we got issues throughout the county. They're getting addressed, but a lot of the issues are stemming from having to get outside contractors in to work on them. And then even if we have to order parts, they're coming from overseas, and sometimes that takes weeks to get in. So we're looking to up the amount of money from the Board of Supervisors so we can be doing some more preventive maintenance, right? And then we may be able to purchase more HVAC units to kind of fix and close in on the problem a little bit. But it's a concern of all of ours right now, honestly, especially with the Lakeside boiler going out. Yeah.
They've been like that for a while.
Yeah.
Especially in the summertime.
And Lakeside's an old school. It's kind of poorly built for HVAC units now, right? It's a 3-story elementary school that has like a mid-level. So, yeah. So we're working on it. Yes, ma'am.
My concern was with LeVere Elementary. I'm a bus driver.
Yeah, I remember. I came on your bus that day and met you. Yes, ma'am. Yep.
You did. One of the concerns I have with LeVere is the sped buses are always parked on the street. They can't come in the bus loop because there's so many of the regular general ed buses in the bus loop, and the sped kids has to cross to get to the sped buses.
So they walk through the grass?
Also, yeah, they're
Okay.
walking on the grass, and also the parents are going in the back to pick up the kids. So it's like she was saying, the parents are going past the sped buses when they are loading and stuff, even with the stop signs out. And I don't see why the sped buses couldn't probably go around the back and load in the back where the parents are going, because it's like a loop where the parents are going, because it probably would be safer because they're always crossing between the general ed buses to load the sped buses.
Okay. I'll talk to Ms. Grace. Even if we get the sped buses to come in after the buses leave and kind of do pickup.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. The sped buses leave before the general.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So,
Okay.
like, it's really not a lot of space for both sped and general ed in
buses.
the area.
Gotcha.
The housing.
Yeah, it's a little tight. Yeah, it's a little tight. I'll talk to Ms. Grace about it and see what we can do.
And another concern I had with LeVere was their playground is horrible. I mean, the paint is chipping off of the swings and, you know, where they play at.
Right.
And it's
So-
a lot of broken metal on their playground.
Okay, so we'll check it out. I know all of our playgrounds are on 10-year cycles. So I'll check into see what cycle we on right now. If it's been over 10, then we should be up pretty soon. I know Out the Ash just got a brand new one as well. So I know they on 10-year cycles. So I'll check with LeBron and see where we at in that process. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yes, and I wanted to know if there's anything planned for Henry Ward. Right now, it's really crazy because for parent pickup, when by 1:15, they're all the way out around the corner. I come in for an after-school program, and literally, I know I shouldn't say this, but I come in the outside, the lane that's made for you to come out. I have to go in.
The police in the back.
Get in and park.
The police back there. Telling on yourself.
Because they're parked and there's no explanation.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to look around and be like.
I'll pass that on to the Verona rep about Ward. But I know all of our elementary schools. I know when my mom goes to my door, she's there at 1 o'clock just to get a front front spot. So I think all of our elementary schools are sort of backed up around that pickup time, just so they don't have to stay in line for 20 or 30 minutes. So I'm sure Ward probably is similar to that. So I'll talk to Verona Rep about that and see, just let her know your concerns about it so she can look into it. Yeah. Got one more? Yep.
I have a question in regards to the tech industries like plumbing, air conditioning, brickwork, motor slum engine repair, and stuff like that. Are they being taught at any of the schools, or how is that being handled at this time?
Yes, sir. We have all of those programs at our ACE centers, at our CTE program, every last one of them. Yep, plumbing, HVAC, air conditioning, heating, electricians, barbering, construction workers, bricklayers, you name it. We have the sprinkler system that's brand new. We have the best CTE program in the nation. We are literally the #1 CTE program. Our director is never in Henrico because he's going out into other states just to show them what we're doing in Henrico County Public Schools. Like, it's literally amazing. My high schooler, he won't even go to his CTE course this second semester because he can go get a job in his industry right now, and that's used as a credit. So they even get real work experience while they're in school, where they don't have to report to school, they can report to work. And they can still get that A in class as long as they're showing up on time and doing the work, of course. But our CTE program is robust, and it's amazing. We have them at Virginia Randolph, Hermitage, and Highland Springs. So amazing CTE programs. Yep. All right. Well, Reverend Cooper, Miss Alginette, yes, ma'am. Can we get you to stand? So.
Good evening. Okay, I'll stand. Okay, so I was just wondering, are there any updates on the sidewalks at Fairfield?
Not yet. Not yet, only because I think Ms. Gina Jones is doing a study that she's emailed with VDOT right now. Okay. So we're looking for sidewalks and a traffic light. So we're hoping that both come back from VDOT that say they will do it because that's one of their roads. But I think even the county is willing to help out on that as well. But we're waiting on the VDOT study to come back.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Uh-oh.
Good evening. For your cybersecurity program, is that starting 26, 27 schools?
Yes, ma'am.
And has it been staffed? Have they announced the staffing for this?
They've only announced the director for the cybersecurity program. They have not announced any other staff. My assumption would be that their other staff are under contract right now in their current teacher roles, and contracts will be renewed starting around March or April, which will open up for additional positions. But all of the applications are in now for the cybersecurity program. So now it's a selection process, and it will open 2026, starting with anywhere between 50 and 75 students, and that will be the rate that we allow them in each year.
Okay, are you able to announce who these directors are going to be?
They will announce it probably in the beginning of January.
Okay.
Oh, the question was, will we announce the director? So we had a director. The director received a different position. We had to reopen it again. So they just hired maybe, I want to say about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I would assume getting everybody caught up to speed, and then they announced the director for our cybersecurity program. Good question. All right. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you, Reverend Cooper.
Well, Mr. Young's going to be here until the end. I prepared tonight a document about literally 14 pages, overview of the last 2 years of my tenure. And so if you want this document, this information, please see Barbara in the back, give her your information, and we'll email this out to you. But I want to share a few things that are very important that I think that you need to hear. We are so excited because in 2023-ish, I was able during COVID to secure $60 million to rebuild a new Virginia Randolph. And that program has exceeded now, it's $100 million. And when will we be dedicating the new Virginia Randolph?
Second week of January.
Come on, let's give a hand for $100 million new school in Fairfield. Also, I want to speak about water resiliency. The January water crisis underscored a critical truth that water resiliency is public safety. Henrico responded swiftly and decisively. We have initiated what's called an East End Water Transmission Project. It's a 13-mile, 42-inch, the biggest pipe that you can get, designed to better connect Western and Eastern Henrico. We have funded this. It's going to cost $350 million. We have begun the design process, and the target completion is 2031. So prayerfully and hopefully, within the next 6 years, what we experienced in January, we will never experience again. I want to talk about the Fall Line Trail real quick. You may not know that the Fall Line Trail is one of the most transformative projects underway in Central Virginia, and Fairfield is in the core. It's a trail that transverses from Ashland all the way to Petersburg, and the majority of it is in the Fairfield district. The trail spans 43 miles from Ashland to Petersburg and 7.5 miles that are located in the Fairfield district. So please look for the trailheads, take advantage of it as we continue to make sure it happens. Also want to quickly talk about what's happening with St. Luke, as well as what's going on in our community for safety. We have a corridor dealing with vape shops. I was riding down Azalea and Chamberlain, and unbeknownst to me, a new vape shop popped up in what used to be the rental store facility. Now, that wasn't supposed to happen because we put an ordinance in place that says any vape shop application has to be approved by the Board of Managers, Board of Supervisors. What we found out as a result of that, they were lying on their applications for building permits. And so what we just voted to do last week and included rapid proliferation of vape shops, and we voted that it's by right only, and we're going to change what we look at it, not just vapes, but anything dealing with any kind of materials, lighting, cigarettes, all those things that happen with that, we're going to take care of that. Can we give a hand for vape shops? We're going to make sure we get them out of our communities. Last thing I want to talk about quickly is that we're really excited about what's going on at Glenwood Farms. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but if you look on one side of Laburnum, majority, all of them are taken down, as well as on the right side of Laburnum, they're being taken down as well. And what we made sure that we did, that nobody's being displaced, that if you were in one of the units that were taken down, you were moved to a newer renovated unit until the new units are built. And we also made sure we put in place assistance for 2 years, because we know that the price right now might be higher than what they were paying, so we don't want anyone to be displaced because of the higher rent. And our goal is to help our residents if they need to work on their credit, their budgeting, whatever they need to do to make sure that they're able to live where they've been living. So we're very excited about that. So please, please, please keep looking and see what we're doing for Maplewood Farms. Fairfield's district with deep roots and growing opportunities. In 2025, we made real progress strengthening water resiliency, improving roads and safety, revitalizing housing, investing in schools, and setting clear standards that reflect our community values. I want to thank you always for your engagement as community members and partnership, and I look forward to building on this progress together in 2026. Well, I hope everybody has a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and a brand new year, and I'll be around for a few minutes as we leave. And I want to thank Delegate Bolling and Senator Bagby. I can say for a fact that this is the first time in 10 years that all representatives from the state and local government for this area have been in the same place at the same time. And I'm proud to work with these gentlemen and lady because we care, we live in the community, we care about the community, and we're going to fight for the community every single day. So have a good night, everybody. Thank you all for coming out.